Good morning. It's a little after 6 this Tuesday morning. A very still, peaceful start to the day. That's probably because the strong breeze has dropped. There's barely a whisper in the air. It's amazing how, though, at this time you can hear so much traffic going by on the A46 bypass, which is sort of top of the hill over that way. It's amazing how quickly things have got back to normal traffic-wise. And as someone who suffers with his old chest, I've spotted the difference already. The one positive for me and people like me is how clear the air was a couple of months ago. I had a quick look online before I came out, and the story that grabbed my attention was the amount of time we're spending online, which is what I'm doing now. Apparently in April, UK adults spent 4 hours a day online. That's a quarter of their waking life. And we spend more time now on the internet than we do watching television or listening to the radio. And of course, one thing that's been very popular these past months has been Zoom meetings, because we can't get out and about to actually meet people. We meet online. And I think that's a trend that's going to stay with us, and it possibly means that some people who've been working from home will continue to do it. And obviously for businesses who are renting office space and paying middle management wages, if they can operate without the office space and without the middle management, they're obviously going to save a great deal of money. Our local authority, Baines, has been using Zoom just recently for major discussions about issues of interest. One was Bath's connection to the slave trade, and more recently there was another one about the sort of Bath that young people would like to grow up into. I watched both, and at the time of their live transmissions, one was getting something like 16 people and the other 35. It's good to see that. Going back on to YouTube now and checking the key issues for young people is up to 102 views, and the role Bath played in slavery, 258. I didn't listen to the young people issue thing all the way through. I did to the discussion about slavery. I have to say, I don't want to be too critical, but it led nowhere. It was a bit like a box ticking exercise. There was no sort of summing up at the end about where do we go from here, which was a shame, because it is an issue that should be faced. We base our reputation on the glories of Georgian Bath and our Roman archaeology, and I think tend to overlook the other side of Bath. Not only connections with the slave trade. I mean, behind me, the Woolly Valley, there were gunpowder mills here, barrels of gunpowder used as a bartering tool, selling it, well, not selling it, trading it to the West African chieftains in exchange for slaves. And there are other sides to Bath of interest. A couple of years ago, archaeologists were at work on the side of the River Avon by Churchill Bridge. The river bank was being reshaped as part of a flood prevention scheme, and they were uncovering the hovels that the working classes lived in Victorian Bath. Back-to-back tenement housing and a bathhouse, because they didn't have any washing facilities, a place that flooded constantly. These things are under the earth, while the Georgian magnificence of Queen Square, the Circus and Royal Crescent is very much on display. Nothing wrong with that. We make a great deal of money out of tourism. But of course now we're in a situation where there aren't any tourists, and we've got to look at other ways of making money. And this gets me back to the web and industries, light industries that maybe depend on web activity, there is maybe another Zoom discussion to be held there about what now for Bath. Good morning, Mr. Pheasant. Anyway, enough from me. A bit sad yesterday, family-wise. My kid's sister has two black cats, brother and sister, no more than 3 years old. And the boy cat had a seizure and died on her lap. Very upsetting. I remember when George had a companion, Lawrence, who one day ran into the garden in terrible pain, having had an embolism. And that was the end of poor Lawrence. It's always sad to lose a much-loved pet, as indeed it is to lose a much-loved person. So big hugs all round for everybody in the middle of dealing with loss. But let's not get too miserable. It is the start of another day, and I hope you fill it in the best way possible and enjoy. Life's here for enjoying. Anyway, that's it from me. See you again soon.